So After Effects is one of the most powerful video editing tools in the industry right now. But if you ever opened it up and then immediately closed it, I don't blame you. It can look really, really confusing. But the truth is, it is way simpler than it looks. And in the next 10 minutes, or maybe 15 minutes, you're gonna learn how to use it. So without further ado, let's get started. So After Effects is a paid for software available from adobe.com. Now they work on a subscription model, so you pay monthly, and you can either pay for the tool itself, or you can pay for Creative Cloud, which will include things like Premiere Pro, Photoshop, and a whole library of other tools. So after downloading and installing, you should be greeted with a page that looks like this. Now this is a list of my previous projects, but if you've never used it before, this will be empty, and just head over to New Project. And congratulations, you are officially inside of After Effects. So your screen should look somewhat similar to mine. If it doesn't, we can head up to Window, and we go to Workspace, and we can make sure that we have the default workspace selected. And that is because all of these different boxes here are completely customizable. You can move them around however you like, but this is the default layout. You will not have the panel that you can see here at the top right. That's because this is my own custom plugin called Quick Draw that I've added myself. These are just super useful buttons that I personally find save me a lot of time and hassle inside of After Effects, but I won't use it in this tutorial as it doesn't come pre-installed with After Effects. So first of all, this area on the left here is our project panel. This is where we can drop and drag any video assets, images, logos, anything that you want to be in your project will go in here. So here on my desktop, I have a folder which has everything I possibly want for this video. We can see I've got myself 3 video clips and an image. I'm going to select all of these, and then you can quite simply just drop and drag them into your project panel. And we can see they are loaded in there nicely. This doesn't mean they're in the video yet. This just puts them in a nice, neat area that we can have quick access to them as and when we want them. So now over here, we have our composition panel. Think of the composition as the blank canvas for the video. So we have 2 options. We can either create a composition to our own custom preference, or we can create a new composition from the footage. So if we just select new composition, it will bring up some options for the composition. This is where we can pick the aspect ratio, the frame rate, and the duration that we want. If you want a normal HD widescreen video, you want the width to be 1920 and the height to be 1080. If you want a HD social media video for Instagram Reels, TikTok, anything that is vertical, then we'll flip those numbers 1080p wide, 1920 high. So we can change these numbers here, and we can type whatever number we want, and we can swap those across. Or you can look in their presets, then they have a whole long list already made for you. I want the frame rate to be 25, and then the duration down here, I'm going to make it just 30 seconds long. Let's give our composition a name, and by selecting OK, we are going to create a blank canvas for our video, which is 30 seconds long, widescreen video, HD with a black background. And there we have it. Crazy. So we can now see the composition is here in the frame, and we can just make this fill up the whole box by going down to here and selecting fit. And that means that whatever size we make this adjustable box, it will always make the playback as big as it possibly can be. We want that because the bigger the video, the easier it is for us to see. Now, let's add a video to our composition. So if I click and drag on one of these clips down into the timeline, the green plus symbol will appear, and it will appear in our composition. So we've added the video to our composition, and we can see our timeline down here, and we've got the duration of the video along at the top. So we can see this is a 10-second clip, and by pressing spacebar on your keyboard, we will play the video. So as we can see, the blue line here is the video playhead. So whatever that blue line is lined up with in your composition, that is what's going to be shown in the preview window. So as we press play, it will play from left to right, and it will scroll through the timeline from 0 seconds all the way to 30 seconds, unless you stop it by pressing spacebar again. Depending on how powerful your computer is, you may experience the playback of the video to be a bit slow, laggy, or choppy. And that just means that After Effects is struggling to play it back at that resolution. No worries at all, because we can just select here, and we can either have it on full resolution, half resolution, third, quarter. The smaller it is, the smoother it will play back. This does not affect the video when we save it at the end. It's only for when you're editing it. So if we look at my face, I change it from full down to a quarter. We can see the quality is massively reduced, but it would play it back smoother. So this video clip would be considered to be one layer. You can have an unlimited amount of layers inside of the composition. So I can click and bring in another clip. We've now got both of them here, but because the scuba diving clip is above the surfing clip, we can only see the scuba diving clip because we look at the layers from the top down. If I click and drag, I can reposition them. And now the surfing clip is at the top. So that's what's visible. And we can see that because if we click on the surfing clip and we click on one of the squares around the edge of the frame, clicking and also holding shift to make sure that we don't distort the aspect ratio, we can scale the video up or scale the video down. And as we bring it down, we can see quite clearly the scuba diving clip is still behind it. Now at the top left of After Effects, we will see this long list of icons. And these are the different tools that you can use to help you make the video. The most common one that you'll use, and the one we're using right now, is called the selection tool. We can see it selected because it has a blue box around it. With the selection tool selected, we can click on the layer and we can move it around the frame wherever we want. We could click on the edge and we could enlarge it, or we can scale it down and we can maneuver it wherever we want in the scene. Next to it, we have the hand tool. So if we select that, we can see the icon changes to a hand. And this doesn't actually affect anything in the composition, purely moves the composition itself around so that we are able to look at certain parts, and we could scroll on our mouse or a trackpad, and we can zoom in to wherever the hand is positioned, and we can zoom out as well. If we want to quickly switch between the selection tool and the hand tool, we don't have to go up to the top each time. Every single tool has their own hotkey. A hotkey is a key on your keyboard that is linked to those tools. So instead of me having to come up to the top and clicking the selection tool, I could just press V on my keyboard and it will instantly swap to the selection tool. I won't sit and tell you what each of these individually are. All you have to do is hover over the top. You can see the key associated with it. So hand tool is H. So on each layer, there are lots of different settings. On the very left-hand side, we have this eye emoji. Now, when the eye is visible, that means that that layer is visible. But if we click it, it will turn off the eye and it will hide that layer. The layer hasn't been deleted. It's just not going to be visible in the timeline. You can press it again. It will bring it back. Next to it, we have a speaker icon, which you can guess it, press that and it will mute that track. You'll still be able to see it, but you won't be able to hear it. These drop-down arrows here allow you to see all of the properties of that specific layer. So we can click and we can look on the transform drop down and we can see we've got every setting we could possibly want for that layer. So not only can we manipulate those different values, so here I can see the position. So by clicking and dragging on the number, and as we move from side to side, we can see we are changing that number. You can input the number manually just by clicking and typing on it, or you can click and drag and make these adjustments. That goes the same with any of these. So we've got the scale, we've got the rotation, the opacity, anything you could think about changing in the video, you can do it just inside the transform options. Now this brings me on to keyframing. Now keyframing is essentially where you are changing these values throughout the video and it will make either the video or the icon, the image, the graphic, whatever, move as the video plays. I'm going to delete these layers out of our composition to start fresh. And I'll just do that by having the layer selected and press backspace or delete. And there you go. So now I'm going to bring in my logo. So we have an image here and we can just bring that into the composition. And with my handy instant scale buttons, we can just make that a bit bigger, or you can click in the top corner, just scale it up or down. If we have the layer selected, click on the drop down, transform, and now we can change the position to be here on the left hand side. And now we can add a keyframe. A keyframe is basically putting down a point in the video and saying, at this point in the video, I want the values to be this. So I'm going to put down a keyframe for the position. And then by clicking on the playhead, we can move it across the timeline. And I can say, right, at the 4-second mark, I'm going to move the positions be the other side. So between the 0-second mark and the 4-second mark, that value is changing and therefore the object is moving. So by pressing spacebar, you can see it goes from left to right. Obviously that looks very basic and simple, but hopefully that kind of serves as a bit of a benchmark of what is possible with this software. So we could do the exact same thing where we could select on the rotation, we can add a keyframe there. And then as we go along and it's lined up, we know the playhead is lined up exactly with the keyframe because this icon here will turn blue. And we can also change this value. We can make it do 1 full rotation. So we can press 1. So now between 0 seconds and 4 seconds, there we go. Very cool. 2 things left to show you, and then you've got a really great overview of what After Effects is all about. So with your videos in your timeline and the selection tool selected, we can trim the ends of the videos by just clicking and dragging on the end and moving the start and end point. We can split the clip wherever we want. So let's say we want to stop it there. With the layer selected, we can hit Shift Command D, and that will split the clip. And we can see here that it cuts it at exactly the playhead point. Now you could move this one around, you could delete it by hitting backspace, and we can move stuff around as much as we like. We can add text with the text tool up here, and then click anywhere on the screen. We can type in what you want to see. As you start typing, somewhere on your screen, you will see the text properties appear here. So if you want to double click on the text to select it, we can then change the size, we could change the font, and this is where I find my plugin comes in super handy, because with one click we can center align it into the middle of the frame. We could make it bigger. Now last but definitely not least is effects. Effects is what After Effects is known for. Just navigate yourself down to the effects panel, or if you can't find it, just go to window at the top and go down to effects and presets. And this has a massive inbuilt library of loads and loads and loads of different effects that you could add. Some super popular effects might be something like a blur. So we could add a blur onto the layer. So for example, with the climbing clip selected, drop and drag the effect on top, and we can make the adjustments here, and we can see we've got our effect. And if we want to get rid of the effect, we can click and we can backspace and it will delete it. Now, how can we actually get the video out of the software and onto our phones, our laptops, whatever? So these two blue dots above our timeline are the in and the out points. And we can move these around to tell After Effects, hey, this is where our video starts, and then this is where our video stops. So right now it's currently just after the 1 second mark and stops around the 5 second mark. So we could either go to the render button here, which will just export it straight away, or we can go up to the composition and we click add to render queue. Now that will add this section of the timeline in a queue ready to get saved. Now here we can change the settings, which is basically saying what quality do we want the video to be exported at, and where do you want to save it, what are you calling it. 9 times out of 10, you can leave these as they are. But if you're looking for something specific, we can click here and we can change this to a different video format if you're looking for something specific. But if not, you can just leave it on the H.264 and we can just hit OK. We can click on the text name here and it'll bring up your file browser and you can select exactly where on your computer you want to save it. Make sure you give it a proper name. Do not leave it as composition 1. If you take one thing away from this video, is name your files properly, because it will save you so much hassle in the long run. I promise you, okay? So let's just call this untitled one. Hello YouTube. I'm going to save it. Now we have to press the render button. That's us telling After Effects, hit it, export it. So we can hit go. Once again, depending on the length of the video and the power of your computer, this will vary in length. You'll hear that cool bling, which means it's done. And then head over to the folder that you selected, and lo and behold, the video is here. We can give it a watch. Wow. Masterpiece, should I say. So yeah, that is the tip of the iceberg when it comes to After Effects. If you found this at all helpful, or you want to check out my plugin, it is called Quick Draw. It will be the top link in the description. Thank you for watching this video. I will see you in the next one.